Well, joining me now is Bashir Sewehli, who's a Libyan political activist. And Bashir, you have family still in Tripoli. You fled there in March when you became a wanted man for your actions. First of all, before we get into all of that, what do you make of those pictures that we've just been looking at of purportedly showing Gaddafi's youngest son?
Yeah, well, I mean, we all have seen these pictures on the TV. To be honest, nobody can verify at the moment whether these pictures are actually the bodies of Sewehli-A and the grandchildren of Gaddafi. But one thing to be mentioned here is we would like to ask a very critical question. What about all these mothers and wives who are mourning their husbands and children every day? I mean, it wouldn't be fair to them to say that Gaddafi's blood is more valuable than the blood of the Libyan nation. The Libyan nation is still bleeding until this very moment. So I think we have to wait and see and verify if these reports are true or not. And at the end of the day, we regret any loss of life, especially for these children, but also we would like to ask who is responsible and who has to be held accountable for that.
Now, as I say, you still have family in Tripoli. What do you know of them and their whereabouts?
Well, I mean, 2 months ago, my father and 2 of my brothers were arrested for going out in peaceful demonstrations. And just as any other free Libyans, we went out in the streets. We were calling for democracy. We were asking for democracy, freedom, and a better life. Unfortunately, the answer we had from the regime was the brutal crackdown by the security forces using anti-aircraft guns and all types of heavy weaponry against civilians in the streets of Tripoli. Which
is why you left and presumably why your father and family are now
Exactly. I mean, my family, like the thousands of Libyans across the country, they went out in peaceful demonstrations. We were not carrying any weapons. We were only calling for our basic human rights.
So have you heard from them? Are you in contact with them? Are you able to know how they are?
No. No, not for the moment, no.
So who do you speak to back in Tripoli, and what do they say about what the conditions are like there?
Well, I mean, the general feeling in Tripoli is discontent. A lot of anger, discontent and a lot of anger about what is happening. Tripoli at the moment is unfortunately occupied by the military might of the Gaddafi forces. Thousands of arrests are happening and have happened. People estimate the people arrested until now around 35,000 people. So this is pretty much the picture in Tripoli. On the other side also, we are hearing reports that there are some sort of guerrilla war going on now in Tripoli between the pro-democracy forces and the security forces. We hear reports and we see videos on the internet about the flag of independence raised on certain buildings in Tripoli.
We're just running out of time. Just one thing I wanted to ask, because, as I say, you fled because you had to, because you were a targeted man in Tripoli. It must be very hard for you, knowing that your family, your close family, are in prison and in serious danger. How do you cope with that?
Well, it's very hard for me, as it's very hard for the whole Libyan nation. But at the end of the day, we all understand and realise that there's a price for freedom. It seems that with the regime we're having now, it's going to be a big price, unfortunately. But we have to just carry on just as the rest of the Libyan nation.
All right. Bashir Sewehli, appreciate that. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.